give us your judgment on this? Jeremy Fleming is saying they're running out of everything they need to prosecute the war, out of ammo, out of men, out of allies. Can we say now that Russia can't win this war, that in some ways they've lost already?
You can say that, but it doesn't mean, unfortunately, that the war is anywhere near its end. Putin's had a disastrous autumn. He suffered a series of defeats on the battlefield. So he's reacted, as he always does, by lashing out, degree of desperation. He's appointed the most thuggish general in Russia, a man called Surovikin, to take charge. And he's launched all these missiles at Kiev. And you've got to remember that Russian forces, not just Kiev, at 11 Ukrainian cities, Russian forces still hold about 80% of the territory that they effectively gained since February the 24th. Pushing them out of that still going to take a long time and be very difficult. And Putin will continue to do anything he can to stave off defeat.
Yes. I was talking on this programme yesterday, Roderic, to a former speechwriter to Vladimir Putin, and he gave it as his view, having been pretty up close to Vladimir Putin for 3 years, he was in the Kremlin, that he thought Putin would wish to reach a peace now because the situation strategically looks hopeless, but that the hardliners in Russia won't let him do that. Does that judgment square us all with yours?
If Putin was thinking rationally, he would want to find a way out at this stage. But he has now put himself, I think, in the hands of the most hawkish elements in Russia. And what Putin can't do is accept defeat. He could only accept some form of peace that he could present as a victory. The Ukrainians are not going to give him that. The Ukrainians are not going to give up until they've reclaimed all of their own territory. And I don't think that is something that Putin, alas, would accept.
Yes, I mean, his situation does look more and more, as you say, desperate. I mean, I was seeing a report not long ago that now Armenia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan have refused to take part in joint military exercises with Russia in October. What do you read into that? That does seem ominous from Putin's point of view.
I think it's significant that he can no longer bully these smaller neighbors into cooperating with Russia. But I think the really big one is China.
Yes.
If anybody's got traction over Putin, it's President Xi of China. And at his last meeting with Putin on the 16th of September, Xi left a lot of daylight between himself and Putin. I would guess that Xi is trying to put pressure on Putin to end this war. I would hope he is. But I think he is the one that really counts for Putin.
What sort of pressure could President Xi, what could Beijing do to move Putin more in a direction that they would consider to be rational, more that they would consider to be good for business from China's point of view? I suppose denying Russia weapons is an obvious one. They're not going to be arming Russia anytime soon, are they?
They are not a big supplier of weapons to Russia, but they are sending Russia semiconductors. Russia lost a lot of its sources for importing semiconductors, which are vital for Russian industry. They're also providing a certain amount of finance. They're also buying at a discounted price Russian oil. They have a certain amount of leverage over Russia. And Russia has very, very few significant friends in the world. China is really far and away the most important. And I think Putin has to take Xi seriously. He's, if you like, big brother.
Yeah, China vastly important. But I think the evidence of the recent Central Asia summit, it's been called that summit, I think, a dictator's club. But we saw Turkey, we saw Erdogan of Turkey, we saw India, the leader of India. Well, they were observed, I think, to be treating Vladimir Putin with not the kind of respect and deference that he would expect from them, or maybe was used to getting in the past. That's also a straw in the wind, isn't it?
It is a straw in the wind, and there's going to be a vote in the United Nations General Assembly later this week, which I'm pretty confident will show that an overwhelming number of UN members of the international community are denouncing Russia's claim to have annexed 4 provinces of Ukraine. So that will be another pressure point, if you like, another major diplomatic defeat for Russia. I'm not sure how much Putin, in his very desperate situation, cares about all of this. I think he's got his head down. He's digging it deeper and deeper into the hole that he's putting himself in because he's almost got nowhere else to go.